Hello Year 5, this is your big maths lesson for Monday the 25th of January. As we often do at the moment, we're going to start off our big maths this week by focusing on a times table. Last week, our top 5 rock stars on Times Table Rock Stars who put the most time in, the most practice in, were Alfie, Maddie, Harry M, Will and Harry F. So well done to you. The rest of us, let's make sure we're practicing our times tables on Times Table Rock Stars this week. Your garage level will be set to 7 times table this week. So we're going to start off by practicing together in this video, and then you can go and do some practice on Times Table Rock Stars, and you can keep up that practice for the rest of the week and make sure that you're getting much more confident with your 7 times table. So to start off with, have a look at that 7 times table. Have a think to yourself about how confident you feel with your 7 times table. Think about whether it's something that you know straight away, that you can recall it really quickly. So if somebody was to say to you 8 times 7, would you know straight away what the answer is? Or perhaps you're not there yet, but you can say the multiples in order. Or perhaps you feel like there's some gaps that you do know some of them, but you're not sure about the others. So just think about where you are with your 7 times table. All of us can improve, all of us can become more confident with our 7 times table or get quicker with it. So that's what our aim is today. So to begin with, we're just going to say it together. So do join in with me, don't leave me on my own. And we're going to say the whole calculation for each multiple, okay? So 1 times 7 is 7, 2 times 7 is 14, 3 times 7 is 21, 4 times 7 is 28, 5 times 7 is 35, 6 times 7 is 42, 7 times 7 is 49, 8 times 7 is 56, 9 times 7 is 63, 10 times 7 is 70, 11 times 7 is 77, 12 times 7 is 84. Okay, we're now going to count in 7, so we're just going to say the multiples, starting on 0 and counting in 7s. Make sure you join in with me, don't leave me on my own. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70, 77, 84. Right, so I'm sure there are some multiplication facts there that you know straight away. You definitely know 1 times 7 is 7. And 10 times 7 is 70. Those are our easiest facts on the board today. I think that you probably also know 11 times 7 is 77. It's only 7 more than 70. And you're doubling that digit. I've got 7 10s and 7 1s. And I'm also going to suggest that you probably know 2 times 7. That's double 7. Or using your 2 times table, you hopefully know that fact straight away. And I'm also going to cover up 5 times 7. That's a good anchor fact. If I know 10 times 7 is 70, 5 times 7 will be half of that, and 35 is half of 70. So 5 times 5 is 35. Okay, so what we are going to do is we're going to have a go at that with those ones covered up. So again, saying it out loud, we will go for the whole calculations this time. I won't say the blanked ones. See if you can say those out loud though, to check if you remember them. 1 times 7 is, 2 times 7 is, 3 times 7 is 21, 4 times 7 is 28, 5 times 7 is, 6 times 7 is 42, 7 times 7 is 49, 8 times 7 is 56, 9 times 7 is 63, 10 times 7 is, 11 times 7 is, 12 times 7 is 84. Okay, so let's think about some of the others there. Now, 3 times 7, I think a lot of us, if we've been practicing our 7s for a while, these first 3 facts are quite straightforward. We also know our 3s quite well. So 3 times 7 is 21, I think, is one that we can remember. I also think 12 times 7 is 84. We can use our 10 times 7 and our 2 times 7 to help us, a bit like we do when we do coin multiplication. So I know 10 times 7 is 70, and I know 2 times 7 is 14. Put 70 and 14 together, I get 84. 12 times 7 is 84. So I've just covered up 3 times 7 is 21, and 12 times 7 is 84. I'm also going to look at this one. 8 times 7 is 56. Now, when we looked at the 8 times table a couple of weeks ago, I gave you a tip to remember that one. So I think of it in the opposite order, really. So I think 56 is 7 times 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I rearrange that, I can make it 56 equals 7 times 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Those digits would go in order. So 56 is 7 times 8, or 8 times 7. And I am going to, I think I'm going to cover up this one now. This one is a square number. 7 times 7 is 49. 49 is a square number. Square numbers are what we get when we multiply a number by itself. Okay, so we've covered up most of them there. There's only 3 to be seen, so see if you can read out your 7 times table without looking at most of them. So see if you can follow my mouse. So we'll say it in, we're just going to say the multiples. We're not going to say the whole calculation this time, okay? So 7, 28, 42, 63. Okay, I wonder if you managed to call out the missing ones. Just have a quick look if there's any that you weren't sure about. Okay, and our last few that we haven't talked about yet, we've got 7 times 4 is 28. You might know that thinking about your 4 times table, or you might just start to be remembering it coming in between 21 and 35. 6 times 7, I usually use 5 times 7 as an anchor for this if I can't remember it. I think, well, I know 5 times 7 is 35. 7 more is going to be 42. Okay, so it comes before 49. 6 times 7 is 42. And this last one here, again, I can use 10 times 7 as an anchor. So I think 10 times 7 is 70. What's going to be 7 less? Well, it's got to be 60 something. And I know 3 and 7 go together to make 10. So 9 times 7 is 63. So we've just said 9 times 7 is 63. 6 times 7 is 42. And 4 times 7 is 28. Okay, see if you can do the whole thing this time. We will do the whole sentences, and I'm not going to call out the answers. I want you to call out the answers for me. Okay, so see if you can join in with the whole thing, making sure you fill in the answers as we go. 1 times 7 is, 2 times 7 is, 3 times 7 is, 4 times 7 is, 5 times 7 is, 6 times 7 is, 7 times 7 is, 8 times 7 is, 9 times 7 is, 10 times 7 is, 11 times 7 is, and 12 times 7 is. Okay, have a little look. If there were any that you were a bit stuck on, or you thought, I don't know what comes next, check what it is on the board now. And I'm going to cover them up one last time, and this time I want you to call out the multiples following my mouse. So we're going to start on 7, and we're counting in our multiples of 7. Okay, we're not saying the whole calculation. Last practice. So 7. Okay, well done. I hope you were able to keep up with my mouse. Notice if there were any that you found particularly tricky today. For example, if you found that every time it got to 4 times 7, you weren't sure, make sure you write that down and pop it somewhere so that you can remember to practice it this week. Remember to also go on Times Table Rockstars and practice on garage level, and make sure you can get really speedy on answering those 12 times 7 questions. And if you make any mistakes, don't worry, it will give you the answer, so you can make sure you have a look at that answer when it pops up, so that next time you can try to remember it when you're asked that question. Well done, Year 5. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you on the screen very soon.